going back to that little story I was saying before, to show that the kingdom of heaven is actually quite large. So there's actually a lot of groups here represented by different nations. I was doing what all good Aussies do. I was running a pub. Okay? And I finished my contract, and I was going to go, my wife and I were going to go around the world. One of my workmates said, Aaron, aren't you afraid? I mean, the world's a really big place. So you're just going to hop on your backpack and go to places like Mexico and Morocco and Turkey. Aren't you a bit nervous? And I said, listen, mate, that's a good Aussie way to speak. He said, I'm part of the biggest gang in history. Yes? There are 2 billion people in my gang. You can go anywhere in the world. You're going to find a believer in Jesus. Yes? So you'll find your family. And you can see it represented here. There's a lot of nations sitting down right now in the presence of God, and we're going to receive the Sabbath. And I think that's a really good thing. So we become family. So, summing up, Judaism in 3 words, all starting with F. Faith, family, food. It is about faith. Who teaches the faith? The family. How do they do it? Around meal occasions. Okay, around food. And so there's various bits and pieces to talk about the story, and that's how you transmit the faith. So you're also helping me tell my family, my kids, about the faith. And I'll ask some questions now. What is the first thing that God made holy? Time. Yep. During creation, at the end of every day, God said it was good. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. And then when he got to Tuesday, day 3, he said it was good twice. And so Tuesday, or Yom Shlishi, day 3, becomes known as the day of double blessing. It's the day that you get married. It's the day that you enter into business deals. It's the day you go out and buy your lottery tickets. Yeah. It's the special day. Right? And you can actually see that in the Gospels. Right? Remember, the Bible that we have, this is a Jewish text, yes? Yes, it's written by Jews, about Jews, predominantly to Jews. And when you get to the Gospel of John, it says it was the 3rd day of the week and there was a wedding in Cana. Very Jewish thing to say. So that's day 3. Then when you get to the Sabbath, God says, this is holy. And so the Sabbath becomes holy. And the Sabbath is holy, yes, but at the same time, God says, you make it holy. God's name is holy. At the same time, he says, you keep my name holy. So there's actually a connection between what God says and then our obligation to continue. And so time for God is very special. He does things in time, and then he wants us to remember it. When he gets his people out of Egypt, what's the first command he gives them? Eat. Go make a calendar. As soon as he gets his people out of Egypt, Exodus 12, he says, you make sure that you note down in your diaries that this is the 14th of Aviv. You make sure that next year, when it comes to this time, you celebrate Passover. Why? Remember, the most common commandment in the Bible is to remember. God asks us to remember more times than any other command. And how do you remember in Jewish tradition? You don't sit down and go, okay, A plus B equals C. I shall remember that. A plus B equals C. It's right there. The way you remember is by doing. You sit down and you do Passover. You retell the story that you already know. And that's actually, how many pastors have we got here in this room? Any pastors? Okay. So brother, our job isn't, when we get up to preach on a Sunday, is not to come up with something new. Our job is to remind the people the story that they already know, so that we don't forget. Because God has done some amazing things, and he doesn't want us to forget. What's the first thing, according to this is a Jewish tradition, what's the first thing that the world forgot? The Sabbath. It's there in Genesis 1, and you don't hear about it again until Exodus 20. And that's probably the reason why commandment number 4 is, remember the Sabbath. Right? I mean, I've made this special day, you guys forgot it. And so we have to engage in memory. And the way we do it, we sit down and we remember. So, the uniqueness of Israel is that God chooses to live with them. And he does so in a very amazing way. In this week's Torah portion, everybody knows that the Jewish people read a section of the Bible every week. Yes? Okay. And this week's portion, we'll talk about it a little bit later, includes some more instructions of the building of the tabernacle, which is it has a special substance around it. It's called in Hebrew tachash. No one knows what that means. It's the tabernacle, the mishkan, the tent, is made of some type of skin. No one's exactly sure which animal it is, but it's skin. And who lives inside skin? Who lived inside the tabernacle? God. God lives inside skin. How long did it take to build the tabernacle? Exodus 41 says it took 9 months. Now, isn't that interesting? Okay. So the first thing that happens on the Sabbath, as we receive the Sabbath, is we light candles. So light signifies the presence of God, and it is always done by a woman.
Blessed are you, the Lord our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us with the blood of Yeshua and commands us to be a light to the nations. Amen.
Amen. Okay, lights to the nations, guys. That's what we have to be. Have to be different from the world. Light in Jewish tradition is very important. First thing that God made is light, yes? And when God made light, he didn't make that light.
Yeah.
Okay? That light is different from the light that's in the Bible. When God made light, what did he do with it? He moved it. And what was left? Darkness. Does God make darkness? No. He makes light. But his light is very special. He can move it. So when you get this light doesn't move. This light can't distinguish good from evil. Okay? You turn this light on and it gives light to our families, but it also gives light to the thief who's come in to steal your big screen TV. Okay? It can't distinguish good from evil, but God's light can. Because when you have one of the plagues of Egypt, it's darkness. It's darkness on Egypt, but it's not on Israel. And when Israel goes out from the Exodus, what's in front of them? Light. And then so it's a guide. At the same time, it's like a shield. It defends them as well. The prophet Isaiah says, "Arise, shine, for your light has come." But the very next sentence, it says, "The darkness covers the face of the people." So we carry this light around with us. It's very special. It's not that light. It's that special light. Because God made light on day 1, but he doesn't make the sun until day 4. Okay? So when you read light in the Bible, don't think this light. And so in Jewish tradition, you light candles. This signifies the presence of God, but we must never make use of this candle, this light. We don't use it to read, we don't use it to work, we don't use it to light a house. You just contemplate it. And in Jewish tradition, you never blow it out either. So once it's there, it just burns down. You put it in the window and just enjoy the presence of God. Okay, so the next thing that happens in a Jewish home on the Sabbath is a series of blessings. Now, blessings in Hebrew are really, really important. God blesses people, yes? Very important. People bless each other. That's really important. Oddly enough, humans can also bless God. Now that's interesting when you think about it. Right? Bless the Lord, O my soul. How? It's a wonderful concept just even to think about. So blessings are important. And so the first blessing that comes is the blessings for the boy. So if there are any sons here, we get to bless our sons. And I'll say it, and then you can all join in with an amen. Yisimcha Elohim ke'Ephraim u'Menashe. May God render you Micah like Ephraim and Manasseh, binding you to the commonwealth of Israel and raising you up to be a mighty man of God. Amen. Then there's the blessings for the girls. So if there's any daughters here who would like a blessing, then we say, Yismech Elohim Kesara, Rivka, Rachel, Leah. May God render you ladies like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, binding you to the commonwealth of Israel and raising you up to be mighty women of God. Amen. Amen. Then there's a blessing for the guests. You're actually always expected to have guests, if you can, at a festival time. Because if you invite people into your home, who might come? God. Who else? Angels. In Jewish tradition, it says in Genesis, it says in Daniel, and Jesus says it as well in John. You will see angels ascending and descending. So where do angels begin from? Where do angels begin? From earth. Because you will see angels ascending and descending. So they're here. So in Jewish tradition, you actually really expect that one day you will entertain angels unaware. And so they come in, and you got to give them a blessing. got to give everybody a blessing. So this blessing will be for you. This blessing is personal, and it's in the singular. And it says, Yivarecha Adonai vayishmerecha. Ya'ir Adonai panav aliyecha ve'chunecha. Yasa Adonai panav alecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May the Eternal bless and guard you. May the Eternal cause his face to shine towards you and to be gracious to you. And may the Eternal direct his face towards you, and in so doing, give you peace. So who didn't get a blessing yet? You. Oh, the man never gets one. Yeah, awesome. The woman, once she's actually lit the candles in a Jewish tradition, that means she has taken upon herself the yoke of the Sabbath. She actually doesn't do any more work. First person to rest is mum. Okay, she lights the candles, signifying the presence of God. A woman brings God into the home. Just like in Genesis 3, who will produce the Messiah? A woman. Isn't that interesting, right? The seed of a woman will bring forth the Redeemer. And so the man here actually doesn't get one. He's got to run around and keep blessing people and opening up things and stuff. But he gets to bless his wife, traditionally, by reading Proverbs 31. So ladies, if your husbands are nearby, husbands, if you'd like to bless your wives, the way it's done, and it's always done in public in front of the kids, which is a good thing to do. Okay? Yeah. It says, a wife of noble character, who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her, and he lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. She selects the wool and flax, works with eager hands. She is like the merchant ships bringing food from afar. She's the one getting up while it is still dark, providing food for the family and portions for the servant girls. She considers the field and buys it, and out of her earnings plants the vineyard. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her tasks. She sees that her trading is profitable, and her lamp does not go out at night. She holds her hands the distaff and grasps the spindle with her fingers. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. When it snows, she has no fear for the household, for they're all clothed in the finest scarlet. She makes covering for the bed, clothes in linen and purple. Her husband is respected at the city gates, where he takes his seat amongst the elders. She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies the merchants with their sashes. She is clothed with strength and dignity, and can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household, does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise, and they call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her, saying, "Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all." Charm is deceptive, beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Amen. All right, so there's a couple of